everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be talking to you all about my new job as a support worker and everything else that comes with this job. So before I start this video, if you haven't seen my channel before, I create content all about life and money. If that is something that you'd be interested in, please do consider subscribing. So let's get into the video. First thing that I'd like to say is that I am very grateful for this opportunity that I have been given, because if any of you have seen my recent vlogs, it's taken me nearly over 4 months to find employment, and now I've finally got this job. I'm so grateful because I've changed so much as a person. My confidence has improved dramatically, my self-worth and value has improved dramatically. Everything about me has changed for the better, and I am truly grateful for this opportunity that I have been given. So now I've got that out of the way, I'm now going to talk to you a bit about my working day and also anything else that you may be interested in knowing about my support worker role. So firstly, the shifts that I do have do vary. Basically, the job that I do is support worker for young adults with learning disabilities in a day centre environment. So basically the day shifts start from 9 till 4, 9 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. And they also have a short breaks facility, which means that the individuals can stay over night, which means that the parents can then have respite and have a little rest, and also the individuals can have somewhere where they can recuperate, learn new skills and gain more values and independence as a person. And when you do those shifts, the shift patterns can vary anything from 4 till 9:30 at night, 7 till 2:30 in the morning, 9 at night till 9 in the morning, or 9 till 9 in the morning, but also awake and sleep-ins. And that is such a vast of different shifts, but honestly, I'm so excited to get myself stuck into those as well. But honestly, like, these shifts and the days are so different. Every day is different in this job, that no 2 days are the same. And that's what I like about this job, because one day you can go in and it's completely quiet and it's such a relaxing kind of environment, and then another day you can go in and it can be completely different. But that is what's nice about this job, because you never get bored, literally. But yeah, those are the kind of shifts that I'm expected to work, and yeah. And also what's nice about working in a day centre environment is when it's on normal day service shifts, which is 9 till 4, I always get the weekends off. And as of yet, I've only worked one weekend since I've started. I got this job on the 14th of June. I've just been working for just over a month now. And when we start in August, which will be next week when I'm filming this video, it will be coming up to just over 2 months that I've been working there. But honestly, each day literally goes so quick. Like, you blink and then you go home again. That's literally how quick it feels and it goes. But I think that's one of the good things about this kind of job, is that if that kind of happens to you, then you know that you enjoy your job. Whereas if you're always looking at the clock and you just want to get home, then I think that's kind of a telltale sign that you don't really like your job. But honestly, like, sometimes I've had jobs in the past where I literally dread going in on Monday, but when it comes to Sunday night, I literally don't dread it at all. I literally do I want to go to work, I enjoy my job, and I get satisfied when I go home and I know that I've tried my best. And I've also grown so much as a person as well, because when I first started this job, there's so many elements to it that I never thought that I could achieve. But honestly, the team and the managers that we have there are very supportive, and like, everyone understands me and I understand them, and basically we're like one big family, to be honest. Obviously I can't disclose the company that I work for, I can't disclose any of the individuals I work for due to confidentiality reasons, but I'm just going to give you a bit of an insight of kind of the day-to-day working life for me. So on a typical Monday morning, I get up for work around 6:50 in the morning. I obviously get dressed, I have my breakfast, that kind of thing, and then I also have to do a lateral flow test in the mornings. I have to do that, and I have to wait for the results for about 30 minutes, and then I send it to my manager, and then if it comes back positive or negative, I then tell her the results. Luckily so far all the results that I have sent to her have been negative. And then I send it to her by email, and then my parents take me to work, and I get there for around 8:30, 8:45. So I take my temperature and then I record it in my staff book, and then I go around, talk to the staff members, and then once I've done that, then I go up to get the system that we use to document forms and that kind of thing. I log into that, and then I basically wait for the individuals that I'm designated for that day, because over a day we get designated different individuals. So for example, for like the first half of the morning, I'll be responsible for looking after a certain individual, and then in the afternoon it will be a different individual. So we have that flexibility and we get to work with different people, which I think is nice actually, because then you get the experience of working with different people, and also you're not also stuck to one individual as well. So I think that's nice that you get that freedom and also that flexibility to move around a little bit. And then basically then you have this system that documents and tells you like kind of the tasks for the day for that individual, and then once you've done that task you then tick it off, and then you also have to document what they've done at the end of the day with these things called activity monitors and daily reports, and you kind of document what they've done, any concerns that you think they may have, that kind of thing. And then basically you kind of just do those kind of tasks, and for example if the individual is running late, you can move the task to a different time. Yeah, and it kind of just keeps you on track really, but you don't actually have to stick to the times so strictly. Obviously it's kind of a guideline, but for some things like medication, those kind of things have to be done at that specific time. For example, if you're doing a task and you're running a bit late, you can it's fine not to be completely finished at that time. It doesn't necessarily matter too much, but it's always important to document it on this system, and then once you've documented it on that system, then you can like move on to the next task. And the good thing about this is that it kind of shows the other staff members what has been done and what hasn't been done, which I think is a good way to show good communication within a workplace, especially in health and social care jobs. And then basically after lunch is around anywhere between 12 to 12:30 to 1 o'clock, and then after lunch the afternoon part of the day goes really quick. And then the afternoon kind of consists of kind of just more chilled out kind of activities, doing more personal care for individuals that may need it, talking to other staff members about any concerns you may have in a confidential environment, and then basically it depends, but most of the individuals go home anywhere between 3 o'clock to like 3:15 to maybe 3:30, and then once they've gone home, then the staff will do a clean up and a tidy up for the following day, sort out anything that may need to be done, like cleaning rooms, cleaning kitchens, that kind of thing, sorting out documents that may have not been recorded, and then around about 4 o'clock, maybe a bit earlier depending on if we finished a bit earlier, then we are allowed to go home. And yeah, but I think the nice thing about working in a day centre environment is that I've worked in a care home before, and the shifts that you have there are very long, and there's not a lot of room for like a social life, whereas in the job that I have there's a lot more room for social life and more hours outside of work, which I think is really nice, because obviously in a day centre environment it's just more fun in my opinion. Like I've always wanted to work in a day centre environment. I volunteered at a elderly day centre for about 5 years, and I always said to myself I'd love to have a job there, but unfortunately they had no staff and no funding for it. But that was the kind of ideal job for me, and I'm so grateful that I've actually been given this opportunity to actually work in a place that I would call kind of my dream job, to be honest. But yeah, I really do enjoy it, and there's so many aspects to it that I never thought that I could do. For example, I am currently doing my care certificate, which is a legal requirement for any person that goes into social care and health and social care through the government, and it is a 15 standard booklet ranging from first aid to confidentiality to safeguarding, and it's these things, and it's a booklet where you have to write down questions and answers, and then after 3 months or a bit before, You then hand it into your manager, and then they mark it and then send it off to a I think a more formal kind of person to mark it and oversee what you've done. Yeah, and I'm doing that at the moment, and I've also done training in peg training, which is for individuals that have like a tube into their stomach, because maybe somebody can't take fluids or food through their mouth, so that is a way that you can directly give them fluids and their medication or their food through their stomach. That is something that I've been trained to do, and I now do it competently on my own, and like I'm quite a person that is really bad at maths, so for me to actually do that and understand it and have no fears of it, I'm really proud of myself, because when I first saw that of other individuals, of other staff members doing it, I really thought it was very daunting. Do it without even overthinking at all, I just kind of do it. But yeah, there's so many different aspects and training that I've received, and still that I'm ongoing and that I'm receiving, and honestly, like, I'm so grateful for all the opportunities I have been given and are still being given, because I've really grown so much as a person, and like, I've never in a million years ever thought that I could have this much responsibility, and I really do enjoy it. I think the key to any kind of job like this is to really want to do it, because if you are this kind of caring and these thoughtful kind of individuals who really want to strive and make a difference in people's lives, you can. Obviously this job isn't for everyone, but I think at the end of the day, if you persevere with it, and you know, each day gets a little bit easier. And another thing that I find that I've overcome in this job is also constructive criticism, is because in a previous job of mine, I actually received it once, and it really knocked my confidence so bad that it actually knocked my performance at work, to the point that they unfortunately let me go due to my mental health issues. But yeah, so that is something that I've overcome now. I realise that everyone does get constructive criticism, and it isn't a way to knock you, it's a way to improve your confidence and your performance at work. But yeah, honestly, this job means so much to me. So that is kind of a rundown of kind of what we do. Regarding the actual structure of the day, it could be anything from doing activities to baking to cooking to going on walks to taking the individuals out. It could be literally anything, to going over to playing golf, because where we work there's a golf centre literally on the grounds, so that's quite nice. Yeah, it could literally be anything, to be honest. But yeah, honestly, that's why I love my job so much, because when I go to work I don't feel like I'm actually working. Obviously it's a job and you need to be professional and responsible at all times, but obviously there is aspects where I see individuals smile, and I know that I've done a good job, and it makes you feel good inside that you're making a difference to these young people's lives. I don't want to talk about my pay purely because it's different in all jobs, and also I think that is kind of a personal thing. I know that I do talk about money on my channel, but as I'm talking kind of more about my job, I don't necessarily want anyone to find me in this kind of way. But yeah, the only reason why I'm talking to you about my job is for anyone that may want to go into this kind of work. But please do not ask me where I work or anything like that, because I'm not allowed to give it to you. But yeah, this is more like a kind of a general kind of guide to what support workers do. Literally, it could be anything from personal care, cooking, cleaning, life skills, activities. Support worker role is different in any environment. You would have support workers in hospitals, clinics, day services, the one like a one that I work at. It's literally so vast. So I can't speak for every support worker role. But with my job that I do, I really do enjoy it, and I literally wouldn't change it for the world. And yeah, I just feel so settled there. Obviously there's so many different aspects to this job, but I feel like I'm kind of going in a turning point into my career that I generally thought that I wouldn't have done before. Initially when I left school I thought I'd want to work with elderly, but I received a carer's role in the elderly environment in a care home, And that was, I think, a big shock to the system, because that was one of my first jobs that I ever had, and it was very, very daunting and overwhelming. And yeah, I cried literally every day. And then I received another job last year, and I kept crying a few times, whereas this job, since I've started, I haven't cried once. And I think that is a turning point in itself, because I think I've realised how settled and how right this job is for me. I think that is probably why I feel so good about this job, and why I would like to document it to some extent. But yeah, if any of you are thinking of doing a support worker role, a carer role, anything in health and social care, I would truly just say to you to go and do it, because there's no other job satisfaction out there personally. And also at the end of the day, so many employers are looking for people, and obviously with this pandemic that has been ongoing for just over a year now, like, there's so many people out of work. I know myself, and I do not want to go back to that stage in my life where I was constantly looking for jobs, because it's so demoralising. And to be honest, when I first lost my job, or should I say I left my job, for the first month or so, to be honest, I kind of enjoyed it, because it was kind of like a holiday in a way. But then I think initially after that month, I think it kind of wore off a bit, and I think I realised to myself, hang on a minute, like, I need to start looking for jobs, because if I don't, I'm never going to get an opportunity given to me. I need to go out and get it. I thought to myself, I'm going to be consistent in finding a job. And then in the February time, I applied for this job that I've got now. And at the time, I hadn't received enough training in a particular area. I kept being consistent to the manager at the day service, and then basically received another job prior to this about a month or so ago. But that job wasn't for me. It was a supported living environment. So yeah, then initially I just emailed this manager again, and I just said, like, have you got any jobs? Like, I really would like a job in your service. And basically she brought me down for a trial day, and then she just gave me a job, because she liked my consistent approach to trying to find a job. I think that sometimes pays off, because if you're consistent, people see that, and I think they like the attribute about people sometimes, because they know that you're not going to give up, and you're very perseverant, that you have that perseverance about yourself. But yeah, so I know that I do not want to go back to the way that I was a few months back, because it's so demoralising, like I've just said. And that is another reason why I like to keep watching these Benefit Britain's programmes, and like How the Other Half Live and those kind of programmes, purely because if I keep that mindset in my mind, I will know that I'll keep thriving and doing better at my job, because in the back of my mind I know that I don't want to be in that position again. Because not only that, but not only that, the longer you're out of work and the more jobs you have in a short space of time, the worse it looks on your CV. And that is also why I'm like not gonna lose this job. I have every faith in myself that I won't lose it, because for the first time in forever, I literally feel like I've found myself in a job. But yeah, I think I'm going to stop this video here now, because I think I've rambled on for too long. But yeah, I do hope this job has given you a little insight into kind of the job that I do. And I hope that it may have helped any of you thinking of going into this kind of work and environment. But yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please do remember to like, subscribe and comment, and hopefully I shall see you in my next video. Stay safe, bye for now.